Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. In this video, we're going to be talking about Daya, compassion, calm passion. It means feeling together. It means tuning to the frequency of whoever you're with and opening your heart and feeling the other person. You know how when somebody says something deep, important to them, and we respond, "I hear you." Or we respond, "I feel you." We're coming into resonance with that person. What is resonance? Well, we're all a mixture of vibrations, a structure made up out of energy. We call it our physical form, but actually we're much bigger than our body. We have a huge field of energy around us. And each of us is that vortex, that pattern of energy. So if I'm vibrating at a certain frequency, and what do I mean by vibrating? Let's say I'm feeling joyous, and I come into the presence of someone, who is feeling sad or depressed. I'm not going to connect with that person by being joyous. That comes across as laying my trip on them. I'm going to do much better by sitting down with that person and saying, "Tell me more." And then going into that state of sunye, where I'm really listening deeply to the other person. And as I move into that space, what happens is I begin to feel what they're feeling. I begin to calm passion. I begin to feel in sync with their frequency. I begin to feel their sadness and what they're experiencing. I don't try to shut it off or judge it or change it or make it positive. I just sit and listen and be present with it and feel the other person. That ability to tune in to another being, and it doesn't even have to be a person, it can be an animal or any being, any prani, any living creature, that you can put yourself into resonance with that being. Now, in case you don't know what resonance is, I'll just explain it quickly. Sometimes if you have a guitar leaning up against a wall in a room, and you have a piano on the other side of the room, and you play a G note on the piano, the G string on the guitar will vibrate all the way on the other side of the room. Because it becomes excited at the same frequency, because it's tuned to that frequency. Well, it's the same thing with our consciousness. We can consciously take our awareness and shift it to attune it to the frequency of another being. And when we do that, we become filled with that the Guru likens it to, dye spreading through a cloth. But it's a saturation of love that flows from the heart throughout the whole being. In order to do that on a consistent basis, to live in that state of compassion, we have to disarm the enchantment of our own self-interest. When you look back on your thoughts through the day, how many of those thoughts were thoughts of self-interest? And I'm not judging. It's not that those thoughts are good thoughts or bad thoughts. They're just thoughts. That's the problem. We give our thoughts too much substantiality. But really, they're quite ephemeral. So, thoughts like, I'm going to do this today. I have to do that today. I'm going to call someone. I'm going to go. I've got to achieve this goal. All of those thoughts that are all about what you're doing or what I'm doing. If we don't create a space to tune in and allow ourselves to expand into that space, then we spend our day caught up in the movie we're shooting, which is in our own mind. And that gets exhausting. This is why we get up before the sun. Because when you rise before the whole hustle and bustle of the day begins, and you're caught up in those thoughts of self-interest, that's the time to expand yourself into that open space and experience the spaciousness of that infinite compassion so that you can immerse yourself in it throughout the day and draw from it like a tank of pure water. Again, this takes self-training. It takes using that watcher that we all have, one doer, one watcher. It's called buddhi. Buddhi is the part of yourself that can watch yourself, that can listen to the words and thoughts, but not identify with them, just observe them. It's that part of our awareness that the more we cultivate it, the more we're able to spontaneously live compassionately. And compassion isn't thinking about the other person. Compassion is becoming tuned to the other person so that we intuitively know what their needs are, what their feelings are, and we can respond not from habit or from some idea in our mind, but with exactly what's needed in that moment. It may be just a glance or a smile or a hug. It may be a word. It may be anything. But allowing it to manifest through us in that moment, it springs from that wellspring of compassion. But unless you nurture that and open it within yourself, you can't drink from that spring because you're watching the movie all the time and caught up in it. Because guess who's the star of the movie? Yep, you're the star of the movie and you're shooting the movie. But there's a whole nother movie going on, and that movie is not about you. It's the movie of the world. It's the unfolding of the Hukam. It's the consciousness of the entire creation. And the more we watch that movie and tune into it, then we're not controlled by the movie that we're creating in our own minds. And when you quell that enchantment, what springs up spontaneously is that well of compassion that's infinite and limitless. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji tells us that living in Daya, and again, each of these virtues is a state of being, that living in that state of Daya allows you to feel every living creature inside of yourself and understand that we are not separate from each other. We intertwine and we move into each other's interspaces. We're all part of the same mind, the mind of God. And we're all part of the same heart, that infinite heart of the One. Ultimately, living in that state of Daya, that state of compassion, isn't something that we do. It's a way of being. And what way of being is it? Well, if you really have apprehended Ik Omkar, and you know and experience the oneness, then that compassion is worship. It's seeing God everywhere, in every being, in everything you see and everything you feel. It's falling in love with reality. That's what the state of Daya feels like. No judging, just loving. All of it. This meditation invites us into the deepest heart of compassion and kindness. The embodiment of that unconditional compassion is the Guru. So take your left hand and put it on your heart, and your right hand on your left. Set yourself, sit up tall. Straighten the back of your neck, relax your shoulders. Draw your concentration inside. Let your eyes relax and focus between the eyebrows. Take a deep breath and let it go. And now open your ears and open your heart. Here we go. Surrender to the sound current.
सिरिया तिनमें सवारिया जिन सिरिया तिनमें सवारिया तन 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 रामदास गुरु रामदास गुरु
And now inhale deeply. And hold your focus as you let your breath out. And let the breath be relaxed. Focus on the sound within the sound. And once again, inhale deep. And exhale and stretch. Waheguru. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button and subscribe to our channel to be notified when new videos become available.